So Mark, why don't you kind of tell us a little bit about yourself, your background, and obviously you went to UT Law along with me, but other than that, what have you been up to?
Best years of my life, UT Law. I love it. And I'll speak nothing but high praise to everybody, any professors and administrators watching. Grew up in Jersey, did a bunch of different things. And I was one of the people who went to law school a little later in life. I worked for Magic the Gathering for about 13 years. I worked on environmental resources, doing pipeline construction and electrical line construction. And then I kind of went crazy and went to law school after working for South by Southwest and Fantastic Fest as film programmers and doing film stuff. And so after that, I went to LA and did that whole grind that, Alita, you're wonderfully familiar with.
Yep.
And so I worked at a couple different places, and latest was WWE. Was making reality television and doing law. And the old joke in the office was I would be the last one standing as long as the department existed. And then the ultimate joke was on me because they just closed the department. So, so I finished up. So now I'm finishing up all the creative stuff that you weren't really able to do while working 75-hour weeks through a pandemic. So, it's finishing up some legal TV shows, finishing up some games that I'm publishing, and that's about the deal.
Nice.
Takes me to now.
And so now you have a game that you have been also creating, kind of like Cards Against Humanity, called I Feel Attacked. So for everybody that can see it here, is it blurry? It's still, there it is. There we go. Which is a really, I still haven't had a chance to play it, but I've looked through some of the cards, and it's very fun. No, but
we have to play it on stream. You have to figure out how to do it, like I did with I Descent, where I'm just suddenly figuring out how to play the game.
Let's do it.
It's like, well, you don't have the cards or anything, but let me figure out how we're going to play this virtually with me only having the cards and things. Those would be good.
You're making
kind of well.
You're making me flashback to the last 7 months of trying to develop marketing plans for an in-person social party game during the middle of a pandemic quarantine lockdown. So thanks. Yeah.
Yeah, that's like my brother Andy, he's in the chat too. Hey Andy. He also developed a similar sort of card game, but his is a resource development game. And so we've had him on the channel too. And he talked about the same thing. He was like, my shipment came in March 2020. So that was perfectly not perfect.
I had the luxury of kind of developing my timeline on what I thought COVID would do or not do. That I was like, oh, by 2022, it'll be a perfect time to go to market, and maybe it will be, but
who knows? Who knows? Poor Everkeeper says, considering how offended people get nowadays, I feel that game will sell well. It could be. So what's the basis or the basic premise of the game?
The basic premise of the game is every card, as you're kind of thumbing through right now, starts with people who, and then has a characteristic or behavior that some people have. People who own white BMWs, people who
have vanity license plates.
Vanity license plates. People who don't hold the door for you.
It helps when you do the card thing. You put your hand behind the cards, so it makes it easier to focus on to focus on. Just pro tip.
I do actually feel attacked by this one.
Oh, people who have two computer monitors.
Yes.
I recognize that. Even though it's blurry. There we go.
Here.
Hand behind it.
There we go. I do actually feel a little bit attacked by that one because I love having. If I could have 16 monitors, I would.
Well, and kind of the trick with all of the cards is that they're all objective. None of these cards are actually passing any judgment. They are just traits that people have. But the trick is they are obviously traits that some of us tend to have internal biases about.
I like these two together. If I could do it. People who have truck nuts versus people who have the coexist bumper sticker.
So they're just, and basically the game is one person picks a card from their hand and puts it down. Let's say people who wear chain wallets, right? And then everyone else looks in their hand and tries to find the card that they think are most likely also the same people. So
Oh.
maybe they might put down people who own reptiles, or, people who have been in a bar fight, or, whatever myriad things that you can come up with. And then that kind of rounds judge, try and figure out what is the most overlapping Venn diagram of humans. So as the commenter said, it's playing obviously in this judgy bias sphere, but it really asks you to question your own biases and the people around you, right? With your friends, if your friends make an association that's kind of like,
So basically, this is just everyone's a little bit racist. The game.
Sure. I think that it's a little. It is definitely developed more for family friendly than that. There are certainly.
Because when I think white BMWs, I think about the Jews.
No, jeez.
So, for example,
he's saying, by the way, completely.
That's not a card you will find in the game. This is and honestly, it is kind of tricky to engage in that sphere, right? But it is, they are very much cards that people might think they're coded, but they are very much designed to not be nationally coded. Right?
Yeah.
Like there are no dog whistles in here that everyone will read that dog whistle.
No.
You might if you
you say that, but the ability of people to hear dog whistles appears unlimited.
Well, and that's kind of the fun, is discussing whether or not that is a dog whistle or isn't it. It's encouraged in the end, it's this game that it encourages those sort of social discussion of stuff that we all feel, but we all might not feel comfortable sharing it. And so it's this way to get people to share and discuss these things and talk about them in a way that, look, it's okay to feel attacked. I guarantee you are on 50 cards in that game, because so you can kind of attack your friend if you want, or your mom or your spouse, but like, you're also going to get it back, and so that's, that was a lot of the developing of figuring out getting everybody in there,
I love it.